It is a gorgeous 75-degree night here in Maple Grove, Minnesota. Welcome to CCX Sports. It is time for NPSL Soccer. Eric Nelson and Hans Bristol with you, and we have a good one coming up tonight as the Minnesota TwinStars will host Duluth FC. And Hans, weather ideal, and for Duluth, they made the trip down today as they trek down I-35 here to the Twin Cities. They'll go back tonight, and what they want to do between their visits is squeeze in a win, something they've done a lot of this year.
3 points on their mind tonight here, Eric, and an important game for them, sitting right at the top of this table in the NPSL North, right there with Minneapolis City and Med City, and those teams are definitely doing some watching of each other tonight. 3 points could be very, very crucial for Duluth FC to follow up last year where they got a Midwest Regional playoff spot.
There's a good look at Duluth FC, and here are the starters for tonight's match. Saroy will be the goalkeeper. Jake Starling is the guy, Hans, that we're going to keep an eye on all night on the back end. Duluth's been really good, not giving up many goals this year. That'll be tough for the TwinStars attack to counter. And how about Carlisle Jr.? He's really been one of the early stories here in the NPSL. A prodigy coming out of this NPSL North. Lots of experience coming out of Brazil. He'll be a factor for them. And James Westfield has 4 goals. He's out of Wayland Baptist down there in Texas. Won an NAIA title with that school a couple of years ago. So you're looking at the TwinStars now as they desperately need a win to get back into the race in the NPSL. Up and down season, that defensive unit tonight are going to have their hands full with a talented Duluth FC attack. How they will counter that will be interesting. And it's a banged up TwinStars club, Hans, and they're young, but they're going to have to put all that aside tonight and get ready to go. And a lot that they saw different, a much different TwinStars team than they saw, or Duluth saw, that is, in week 1 of this season in a 2-2 draw in Duluth. All right, the head coach for Duluth FC is Joel Person. There is Yusuf Darvaki, longtime Minnesota TwinStars head coach, now in his 16th season. And when you talk about the National Professional Soccer League, basically this is ground zero. The roots of it are right here in the Northwest Suburbs. The TwinStars are the founding team. The NPSL is a really massive league, and Coach Darvaki there for the TwinStars, an important man for the startup and part of the kind of the chair and committee over the NPSL. And Joel Pearson on that other side for Duluth FC, plenty of an experience of his own that he brings into Blue Greens. And these teams know each other well. The coaches, Person and Darbaki, are friends, but it's a rivalry tonight. Call it the I-35 battle as we're underway. And Duluth FC controls the ball. Now they're wearing the white with the shades of blue and green. Their nickname is the Blue Greens. Of course, the TwinStars in those bright red jerseys, white numbers, white shorts, and Duluth on the attack. Team that made an Open Cup appearance last year. Duluth has really embraced that side. They've done a great job branding themselves and really building up a winning team there up north. And Duluth on the backside trying to get it out toward midfield, generate some early offense. Maybe they will. This is Magana, but he couldn't run it down. He's 17 years old, Hans, the youngest player in the NPSL. Talk about a talented number 8s on both sides. Junior wearing the number 8 tonight for Duluth. Made that run, and boy, Luis Magana is going to be another key playmaker for the TwinStars. All right, the TwinStars trying to get it back toward the center, and it'll roll out of bounds. And Minnesota TwinStars will bring it in. Mentioned it earlier, Eric, a friendly rivalry, but expect there to be a physical presence to this game here tonight. Both these teams strong players. They won't be afraid to throw their bodies around, try and get extra possession. Here comes Lozano as they get it back to Abdul Rahman, and they get it across midfield. I think this middle of the field's been important for the TwinStars all year. They're going to have to generate numbers forward. As you said, banged up TwinStars team. Missing some key starters that even in that week 1 game against Duluth FC, they have a good majority of those starters not here tonight. And quickly going down there is Lawrence Tulare, who's kind of playing more as a defensive midfielder here tonight for the TwinStars. Yeah, a little bump as he ran through the leg of George Proctor for Duluth FC. He's back up, little gimpy, but now he's jogging toward the Duluth FC end of things. It's a free kick in for the Minnesota TwinStars. Scoreless, we're just underway. Soccer on CCX here on a Wednesday. Thanks so much for tuning us in. Should be a great match. Duluth FC right around the top spot in the standings. North Conference of the NPSL. Meanwhile, the Minnesota TwinStars, they need to get on track. And they have the ball right now. Abdul Rahman with it. Gets it out to Magana, the youngster.
Abdul-Rahman there on that left wing. He's really proven himself into this lineup. Had a goal last week for the TwinStars in their win over the Dakota Fusion. There are some key pieces here tonight, Eric, for the TwinStars that'll have to play important games. And games the TwinStars, they have been competitive in this year with the likes of Minneapolis City SC and Med City. It's been this defensive unit that have struggled. Can they not give that big giveaway tonight? Can they not give Duluth confidence early in this game?
Luke Anderson, the keeper for the TwinStars, with that power kick out near the center of the field, that Maple Grove logo. And some more contact and some whistles. By the way, the referee tonight is Heath Stahl. Josh Forsyth, Miles Booker, and Cliff Anderson complete the quartet of officials that we have here for this match at Maple Grove Stadium. TwinStars move it into the blue-green end of things. That is Soroy, the keeper for Duluth, with the all-green look. He gets it up to a teammate.
Had a really nice takeaway there out of the middle field for the TwinStars. Tried to generate something forward. Garga Noya, number 9 here tonight for the TwinStars. One of those guys who's kind of had to fill in for some of those injuries. David Chroma specifically. An injured striker.
And now Duluth with it. And a setup and maybe a chance, a shot and a goal. A goal for Duluth FC, Carlisle Jr. And wow, what a season he's had. That is number 6. I'll tell you what, Hans, he can play.
And watch this feed from Alberto Diaz when he collects a takeaway right at the top of the box. I just mentioned it, the TwinStars could not have an early defensive giveaway that they gave right outside of their own penalty box. And right there, just a beautiful little touch pass back to Diaz. Carlisle Jr., Eric, we talked about him before the game. We could be talking about him a lot more tonight. Quick lead for the Blue-Greens in a disheartening opening 5 minutes. The TwinStars desperate for 3 points tonight.
Yeah, James Westfield with the first pass, and then as you said, Diaz got it. He fed Junior, and Carlisle Jr. did the rest. And they have the early lead. Junior, kid out of Brazil. So he's left South America for North America. And wow, he's making an impression up here in the States. Young attacking midfielder. He's played with several clubs, Hans, in Brazil, including Regatas do Flamengo. That's a powerhouse down there in Brazil. As you see the keeper, Anderson, get the ball. He'll get a free kick for the TwinStars.
Respectable clubs, as you mentioned, that Junior has played for, and now making his way to Duluth FC as part of the really nice job that organization has done there in Duluth to attract some of that strong talent. And it's paid off for them. He's been highest scorers in this NPSL North, really, for a large majority part of the season, but coming off a 4-goal performance, make it 5 in his last 2.
Yeah, and 6 on the year, and Duluth FC with the early lead and the ball in their own end as they try to get it out. That is Diaz with the cross pitch kick. Now a deep kick in. Trying to chase it down is Nito. Now he's in the corner. TwinStars don't want to give up another one this early, as we're only just about 7 minutes into this soccer match here in Maple Grove.
It's a good ball out wide to So Julio Neto just couldn't find anything out of the middle. Lane Lozano also came up with a takeaway. TwinStars have been able to respond after giving up some early goals to even just recently here Maple Grove to Minneapolis City a few weeks ago. And they get a response here. They need to get that ball back in the attack, move it into the attacking third.
Well, FC now on the run, far side. And a centering kick, but that's knocked away. There's a battle with it for FC. His fortune, but he didn't have good fortune there as Anderson able to make that easy save.
Well, that's a dangerous ball to Ronaldo Fortune. He was right there, took a swing at it with the left foot, but Tim Maynard's got to do a little bit better job there. The lead center backs here tonight for the TwinStars. He's got to do better clearing that box, getting that ball out of that penalty area. Dangerous chance for Duluth.
Neto with it. Out up top for Alberto Diaz. Now they'll go backside and regroup. Starling, and Jake Starling, one of the top defensemen in this league. They have a lot of talent, Duluth FC.
Absolutely, and Julio Neto may be listed as a defender, but he's played really high up so far, helping out this midfield, kind of in that right back spot. Starling's been very strong right there in the middle defensively. It's always so important.
And here come the TwinStars. Lozano down the center of the pitch, and the pass. Unable to run it down was his teammate. That was, I believe that was Magana. And now an easy stop for Duluth FC. By the way, Duluth FC last season, Hans, I know you follow this stuff closely. They were a Final Four team in the NPSL, eventually lost to Miami. Now, to put that into context for some of our newer viewers, there are 94 teams, 4 regions, and 13 conferences in the NPSL. So last year, Duluth FC, a Final Four, they were better than 90 other teams.
Well, and making it to the regional championship game as well in that Midwest region to kind of give you an idea that Duluth FC, not only here locally, Eric, but on a national level, they've put their name, they've stamped their name into turning into one of the really premier clubs. And interesting thing about it is here in Minnesota, that title right now does not go to a team in the metro Minneapolis area. It comes from a team up in Duluth in northern Minnesota that really built a fan base, have built a strong team, and got themselves, as you said, far into postseason play last year, and even an Open Cup appearance into the second round.
Duluth FC trying to get more, but Anderson able to get the ball, and he's going to kick it away, and the TwinStars will try to get out of trouble. They haven't had too many looks yet so far offensively. Ball out near the center, and that is Diaz for Duluth FC.
Again, you talked about Garga Noya, who's also had to kind of slip himself into this consistent starting 11 for Coach Darbaki, but Luis Magana has played kind of a little more that number 10 role, that central attacking mid role. He's going to have to be able to generate that ball forward, and Kareem Darbaki as well, who's the captain of this team. He plays an important part in their attack. How do they continue to generate that, find more space into attacking gaps here in the early stages of this first half, down a goal.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, Carlisle Jr. with the early goal for Duluth FC. And that's the score you see at the top of the screen as they lead it 1-0. TwinStars with the ball, trying to get it into the blue-green side of the field. And another whistle. Partial shadows here at Maple Grove Stadium. Outstanding venue. TwinStars, I know, are happy to be playing home matches here this season. Field turf is the surface.
Not too much recent rain. Sometimes attackers like that slick turf. Defenders not as much, kind of moves the ball quicker. Not recently.
Here comes Duluth. And this team from the Twin Ports, they've been on the attack a lot of this match so far. as we're about 12 minutes in.
Well, right there, you saw once again Westfield just tried to generate another chance forward into the box. Couldn't find the space. TwinStars looking to respond.
And now they'll get it out near the center of the field. Kick it in. Trying to get something down low, but the Duluth FC back end has been pretty solid so far, Hans. Not really many chances for the TwinStars.
Seen that from the TwinStars this year. They're not going to be a team that's really going to hurt you wide. It's when they find that space and get confidence in games to try and attack out of the middle of the field. It's an area where Duluth FC have been really solid. They're not going to give you much space. So the TwinStars moving forward here, Eric, they're going to look to try and space the ball wide, get those wingers forward, and trust that defensive unit to play a stronger remainder of this first half, not give up too many dangerous chances.
Duluth FC with the ball. Far side of the pitch.
So many weapons Duluth can go to, and it's turned into them scoring quite a few goals as of late. That 7-0 win on the 14th over Dakota Fusion.
Yeah, that's an eruption. It's not quite Women's World Cup Team USA, but
Absolutely.
7 is it's impressive in soccer, no doubt about it. And Duluth FC looking for more. Neto with some nifty ball handling, gets it out to Fortune.
Duluth FC showing an offensive attacking press right now, trusting just 3 in the back, letting Neto kind of play more forward into that attacking role. Ball catching the hand of that Duluth FC attacker there for TwinStars free kick.
Well, if you're in the neighborhood near Maple Grove High School, stop on by. What a fabulous night. Just a postcard-like
Absolutely.
evening. As the ball goes out of bounds, we look off beyond the stadium and everything green. A blue sky mixed in with some clouds. Again, 75 degrees. Low humidity too, Hans.
Yep.
Really ideal conditions for soccer because it's such a stamina sport. You're going to run 6 to 7 miles out there if you're one of the players. So you like this kind of weather.
And the TwinStars are a young, exciting franchise that's really trying to connect themselves into this Maple Grove community. And if you're looking for some pro soccer here locally, the TwinStars are going to be a team that are going to be able to build something I think really, really unique here in this Maple Grove area, and continue to build and continue to get those players. And Duluth FC really kind of shows as a leader in that category of teams you look up to try and build a strong organization.
And here's a shot attempt, but no go. Abdul Rahman to the center of the field, and his teammate Nayush unable to get the shot he wanted. And he may be a little banged up, Hans.
It's a tough challenge, but nothing to draw a whistle, nothing to draw a penalty. Good turn as well on the far side of the box for the near side of the box for Lawrence Tulare, who's trying to play that ball in, looking for Matthew Garga Noya, nicknamed Garga, and he tried to find that space but couldn't turn it forward, couldn't get a shot towards the Searoy in goal.
Now Anderson will scoop up that long kick and trying to get it to one of his teammates to set something up, and the roll pass to his left. And here come the TwinStars. Abdul Rahman up the near side. Drops it off for one of his teammates.
Luke Anderson, an interesting situation in goal this year for the TwinStars, but Anderson's really made his way into that role. Shram Miller, who's on the bench tonight, has also been a consistent keeper, but they've liked Luke and the performances recently and the work ethic he's brought to the team, and have him confident in goal here tonight against a good team in Duluth.
The captain, Kareem Darbaki, gets it in, son of the head coach Yusuf Darbaki. Played at Northern Illinois. Now Duluth FC gets it deep into the TwinStars end, but they're going to try to get rid of it and clear it out. And they do. Abdul Rahman, little tap pass there. They've been in their own end maybe more than they would like, Hans.
Yeah, nothing too much generated on the attacking side. And you just mentioned Kareem Darbaki. He's got to get himself a little bit more into this game. Not afraid to trust his defenders there in behind and start pressing on some of these Duluth FC attackers and create some space forward. Kareem's got to be, he's that captain, he's that leader. And as we talked about, some injuries to the Twin Stars and some of their more role players earlier this year. Kareem has stayed healthy and he's a good player. He's got to get himself confident into some of these games. Try and get that ball more up the field for the Twin Stars.
This is Viator for Duluth FC racing up. Good ball dribbling there by Viator. A save, but the rebound and a goal for James Westfield. Well, a tough break for Luke Anderson, the keeper. He made that save, but he didn't squeeze it, Hans. And Westfield was right on the doorstep, and he won't get an easier goal.
Westfield was right there, and that's just great awareness. Really the second great awareness play that Westfield has made in this game. He kind of set up that first goal to Junior, but great job there by the Duluth forward following that shot. Great run by Viator, put that ball hard in off of Luke Anderson. Nothing Anderson can really do about corralling that rebound, and James Westfield, he's right there. He's been a quality goal scorer. Kind of goal scorer finishes a lot of good chances. And it's a 2-goal Duluth lead here.
And they want more, Duluth FC. For Westfield, his 5th goal. So the big guns have come out firing for Duluth FC as Carlisle Jr. gets number 6 to start the scoring, and James Westfield on the rebound gets number 5, and it's a 2-0 Duluth lead. The Twin Stars trying to get back into it, but that shot attempt was denied. And as you said, it was difficult for Anderson. Yes, you would want to hold it if you knew how that was going to play out in retrospect, but he had to go low, and it bounced off him, and Westfield kicked it into basically an open net.
I think something we both see in the hockey communities here, you know, that idea of a goaltender, a goalkeeper giving up those rebounds, little difficult more on some soccer goalkeepers when you get that hard of a shot, and obviously you don't have that big glove to make a lot of those saves. But again, tough spot there for Anderson, but didn't have much defensive help.
Here are the Twin Stars, and maybe that was their best shot of the night. And that one with a save by Soroy. It came from kind of the right angle, if you will, but Duluth FC able to get the ball and move it out quickly. By the way, about a minute ago, we lost a ball. It bounced out of the stadium. It sailed out and went on to one of the side streets. So if there are any kids in the area, there's a souvenir out there waiting for you.
Ball shaggers staying busy early here tonight. It's Ahmed Osman who's on that far right wing you were talking about, Eric, and another guy who's only getting his 3rd start of the year, but it was a nice run and a good job there from the Twin Stars attack you saw to kind of spread this attack, and he got that shot onto the near post. It was a good job by Osman utilizing that space, finding that look to the near post, and that's what Twin Stars, they need to continue to do that here.
Twin Stars, they need a spark. They need something to go their way here. They want that that spark that maybe turns into a bonfire and gets them going right now. All the heat being generated by Duluth FC, as you can see on the screen. They are up 2-0 as we close in on the 21-minute mark.
Just wasn't good enough from that last goal for the Twin Stars defensively to kind of close down the middle of the park that Duluth FC is going to want to continue to attack at, and it led to their 2nd goal. That time Tim Maynard did a lot better job of closing out Duluth FC there offensively, not giving them any further of an attack. It's got to lead to some possession here now for the Twin Stars.
Lozano up the near side, kicks it in. Couple of Duluth guys able to get the ball out near midfield. A little head shot there by Duluth FC. That was Fortune. And right now FC controlling the ball and controlling the match early on. Here's Westfield. He already has a goal, but that time he is denied by the Twin Stars on the back end. Here comes Minnesota. Crossfield pass, but this is going to be a little bit too long. And the Twin Stars unable to run it down, and that's kind of symbolic so far of how the night has gone for Yusef Darbaki's team. That was Lozano, who just didn't have enough speed to catch up to it, Hans.
And it was the right idea from that pass from Luis Magana out of the middle of the field, who kind of remarked as one of the stronger talents on this team. I'd like to see Magana maybe take more control of that far right wing, kind of let his speed get forward. Hakeem Sinna and Kareem Darbaki, they're strong players in the middle of the field for the TwinStars, but can they spring those attackers wide? Will be the test here tonight.
Well, the TwinStars are young and they are banged up. And that's not a good combination at this point of the season, game number 8 for both of these clubs. It's kind of what you would call, Hans, growing pains. They're learning on the job, and they have some key guys not playing. But you know what? The schedule doesn't wait for anybody. Duluth FC's come out here ready to go.
Absolutely not. And TwinStars, to their credit, the long run in there. Good awareness there from Seroy. Just kind of let that ball settle out. I'll say this, the TwinStars have had a tough stretch of games and weeks where they've had tough opponents, and even this week, Saturday, headed into Minneapolis to take on the Crows, and a team that they very much tested here in this last month at home. While they've had those injuries, Eric, they've still been able to find a team that have jumped into games like tonight and have stuck around, even in nights they haven't gotten the results. They need that goal here now. They need that goal to get them going, get that confidence back in them. And a lot of these younger guys, as you noted.
Well, head coach Yusuf Darbaki and his team, they're hoping for role reversal, because if you remember the first match between these clubs, it was a 2-0 TwinStars lead, and Duluth FC came back to rally and get the draw late up north in the Twin Ports. So maybe they can flip the script, they being the Minnesota TwinStars. That was a 2-2 match early on back in May.
It was a fantastic game, and the TwinStars really had an opportunity there in Duluth to come out and make what would be a massive statement for this club, and still feels that they have not had that statement in their season. I think they look back on that one and get a bad feeling in their stomach, because they knew what slipped away from them week 1.
Yeah, one that got away, as they say, on the lake, if you're out there angling this summer. And now the TwinStars will regroup as they chase the ball down.
Kind of weather you'd love to be on a lake.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Recently here in the Twin Cities area.
A postcard-like night here in the Grove, in the Maple Grove area, northwest suburbs.
Didn't mention on the last Duluth attack, James Westfield once again dangerous forward, found himself some space, but it was a good job by Eddie Sadie, was able to close out. Durham on there.
Yeah.
Good tackle. Work him off the ball and just not find anything more forward.
Yeah, good hustle there by Starling. With that sliding kick out of bounds. Starling plays at Florida Southern. A lot of these kids, as you know, Hans, college soccer players, or they were college soccer players. Yep. All levels, D1, D2, D3, NAIA. Just a great collection of athletes in the NPSL.
Brings in a lot of experience, a lot of different playing styles from different programs. Makes it tough on some coaches. These guys training with other players from other countries, other parts of the states, and they come together in the summers and play in a very competitive NPSL that's growing drastically.
Tulare couldn't catch up to that one, and it's wisely kicked out of bounds by Duluth FC, and the two-hand pass comes into from Tulare to one of his teammates. Now the cross field pass, but nothing going for the TwinStars. They've really had maybe one solid chance, as we're going to see a corner kick here.
Good job by Magana. Darbaki played him in that ball, but Magana, good awareness there, staying off the ball, earning them a set piece.
And there's the kick and a rebound, but the save made by Alberto Soroy, the keeper, wearing the all green jersey, shorts, and socks, and he preserves the shutout at this point.
That was a dangerous header there by Garganoia, just outside of the 6-yard box. Good job by, as you said, Soroy. Held his ground, made that save, took a deflection as well. And off a corner, that's those opportunities. TwinStars here in this first half, 27 minutes into this game, they're going to need to take further opportunities when they're given to them by a Duluth side that they're going to play disciplined, they're going to play smart, and those given opportunities they'll have to take advantage of.
Yeah, you may need to force the issue a bit. They got to get back in this thing. Here might be a chance for the TwinStars. They're looking for that setup and that shot where maybe they can finally get one past Alberto Soroy, the keeper for Duluth FC. And here comes Duluth FC, the blue-green, on the move. But they couldn't finish that. Anderson able to scoop up the ball, roll it out. TwinStars back on the attack.
Once again, Westfield with the right idea there, was looking to slip it into the middle for Junior. Just too much behind that pass, and a dangerous 1-2 punch. As we've talked about, Westfield and Junior have been forward. Now here's Magana.
Magana, all of 17 years old. He can't legally vote right now, and barely can drive, but he can play soccer. And they tried to set up the headshot there for Naya, but he couldn't get there in time, and another save for Soroy.
Good job, good run there from Garga. He kind of saw Lozano, who was looking for that cross to the top, just short of that box there, and Noya just didn't quite get the air on a release that he was looking for. Foul here to Duluth. And we'll see an early sub here for the TwinStars. Not an early sub here from Yusuf Darbaki and his coaching staff. Luis Magana coming off, so it will provide a little more of a defensive look here into the portions of this game, but early exit there from Gato, who comes off the field.
Well, we're right about 7:35 p.m. Central Time, and plenty of daylight left. One of the longest days in the calendar year, but the lights are on. Just for good measure, the lights are on. And now the TwinStars, they want to light up the net. They haven't had any chances really except for one tonight to do that. Now it goes out of bounds. And that was Maynard. He's out of Barbados. He'll throw it in. Plays down at Luther College in northern Iowa. And we'll see if Maynard can find one of his teammates. TwinStars with the kick, but it's off the mark, and it'll go out of bounds. That shot nowhere near it. That was Lozano with the left-footed boot.
He needs a touch there. He needs a little more space to try and turn his shoulders onto the goal, and it was a good spot that Lenny found himself in, right in front of the goal. Got a numbers switch up for you here, Eric. That's Ivan Adika, who's checked into the game for the TwinStars. He's going to come in and give them a little more size in defensively. Tim Maynard, number 5 out there, has been more of a central defensive role, but Adika's going to come into this game, and I'm not sure, got him maybe a little banged up possibly with an early exit. Good job there by Eddie Sadie with the clearance for the TwinStars.
Adika wears number 18 in white on the back of that red TwinStars jersey. And they lose possession now. Here comes Duluth. Duluth FC, 17 points so far in the season, just 10 for the TwinStars. As you said, Hans, at the top of the broadcast, the TwinStars need a clean 3 tonight. And if they're going to get it, they're going to have to put on their rallying cleats, and maybe here's an opportunity as they run it up the field. That is Tallery. But good defense there by Duluth. How about George Proctor, product of Georgia State, not allowing Tallery to either get the shot off or get the pass.
Yeah, Proctor and Starling, that will sit right in the middle, right in front of that goal all night as the central center backs there. They will be very difficult for the TwinStars to cope with attacking. A corner kick here to Larry.
Well, the TwinStars still have it. That is Osman with a touch pass, and now A shot blocked by Duluth FC. And the Blue-Greens will get it back after the TwinStars kick it out of bounds. If you're wondering how they got that nickname Blue-Greens, that is because of the Duluth City flag. It's got a lot of blue and a lot of green. And if you've been up to the Twin Ports, Hans,
absolutely,
there's plenty of blue with that big drink they call Lake Superior, and a lot of green with all the trees and the gorgeous scenery up there in Duluth Superior.
Beautiful area, and I think, even just those small things that these clubs bring into that city atmosphere, trying to make their own name, their own statement. They're putting some pressure on for the TwinStars. Something for the city to rally around, and even colors are important to a club and to attracting those fans.
Yeah, no question. They have that kind of that Seattle Seahawks scheme going, and Duluth, very outdoor-oriented area, as the Duluth FC team has the ball go out of bounds again.
Once again, we see the TwinStars. They're still trying to find that attack on those wings. They've found some better space here, better opportunities toward the goal, but they're going to still want to obviously cut this lead down to 2 or 1 here, moving into later stages of this first half. Throw in here, trying to get, this will be a Dika here, trying to get this ball into the box. Noria taken down, and the foul going the other way.
So we will have Duluth FC regaining possession. Duluth FC, by the way, came into the NPSL in 2017, and boy, they started with a bang, Hans. They won the conference that year. Then they won the regional title, as we talked about, in 2018. And they were a Final Four club a year ago before being eliminated by Miami. So they have hit the ground running, and they're trying to grow soccer up there in the Twin Ports. Obviously, hockey is huge. We know that U.S. football is big, but I think soccer literally is getting a toehold, and there's a shot blocked by FC as Tulare had a good opportunity but couldn't get the shot on goal. Now FC racing in, but the whistles sound. Offsides.
Really good run by Westfield, and even a better feed right into the attacking third. Once again from Ronaldo Fortune, who just saw Westfield making that run, just as you said, in offsides, jumping a little bit too early. Talked about the Blue-Greens there in Duluth. Soccer is really, football is known internationally, is really attracting, I think, a new generation of excitement. And lots of work, of course, at the top levels and all the way down to continue to build on what is momentum right now for the sport, for the game. And even in communities like Duluth, it is going to attract maybe a new fan base interested in the sport, interested in the growth. And areas here in the cities as well have done that exact same thing, in Maple Grove and Minneapolis, of course.
Another whistle. Yeah, and you're exactly right. I mean, the growth of soccer in the U.S., and on a micro level here in Minnesota, the Twin Cities, all around the state, it's noticeable, it's real, and I think Allianz Field, and I know you were there last night for some cup action. I was there a week ago for U.S. Open Cup match, Sporting KC and Minnesota United. I've seen a few matches there, as have you. That is a soccer cathedral. It's a jewel, and that's going to help soccer at all levels in the state of Minnesota, in my opinion.
And I think the spotlight points on the fantastic job Minnesota United has done now in getting that team here.
There's a shot and a save. That was Carlisle Jr., and boy, he's dangerous down there. Whoa. Anywhere near the goalie box, and Anderson made that save going to his left.
I'll say this, I think the ref, luckily for the TwinStars not to blow that whistle, allow a set piece, pretty clear handball there. I believe it was off the arm of Tim Maynard. Back come the TwinStars. Once again there, Garganoia trying to get in the mix. Still trying to build on some attacking moments here. Right back come Duluth.
Yeah, far side. FC running it up. And that pass just goes wide, and Duluth FC denied a possible chance at another goal, as unable to track it down was James Westfield. He's got one of the 2 goals tonight. Junior has the other. You know, James Westfield is an interesting story. He and teammate Lucas Jacobs, Hans, are staying up in Duluth with John Schuster. Yes, that John Schuster, the skip of the U.S. gold medal curling team.
Absolutely.
So how about curling and soccer getting together?
Gotta love those connections that sports brings in the soccer in the world. And Duluth, obviously a very tight-knit sports community, and just makes for some of those great connections, of course. And it kind of shows you Duluth FC, it's really continued to make their name known with curling stars, of course.
Yes.
For the country. It's fantastic.
Well, when they told me John Schuster, my first thought was, oh, the real estate mogul.
Sure.
He put him up in a house, but no, the other John Schuster of curling fame. TwinStars again can't get anything generated. Tulare had another shot blocked, so the FC defense is doing well. But here's another chance, and a great save there by Alberto Soroy, and the Minnesota TwinStars came close.
Soroy had to come off his line there really for the first time and be forced to make a save. Here's Noya. Great job. Good control and strength by Noya to get by Proctor there for just a moment. And Proctor was looking for a whistle, and it turned into Noya sneaking through for the TwinStars, one of their better opportunities and chances in this first half.
Yeah, Noya thought he had goal number 3 on the season, but gives Soroy credit. He knew he had to come out and cut down the angle, and he took the pure block, and he's still down, adjusting the shin guard. Going to get a drink. You got to stay hydrated now, Hans, even when it's 75 degrees and comfortable. But those shots, in baseball they talk about launch angle, exit velocity. Well, I'll tell you what, the exit velocity here, that's pretty fast.
Well, and I think you're absolutely right, and the just the responsive time that keepers have to have. We saw with Anderson down here. Soroy now just having the trainer take a look at what appears to be kind of that lower side of that calf. It doesn't appear to be something serious and causing a lot of pain, but there's those cleats that they've got on out there. Have always those studs sometimes drill into your muscles a little bit, but Soroy, you said it there, putting his body on the line to make that save. But now, finally, in these last 15 minutes or so, Eric, we've seen the TwinStars and Garga Noya right there, they've been able to generate some chances forward. Now, can they build on that, and can they give themselves some type of momentum to jump themselves into possibly a goal-scoring situation here before the end of the first half?
Well, Yusuf Darvaki, I am guessing, is encouraged by what he's seen the last few minutes, as we're now closing in on the 40-minute, 30-second mark here in the first half. So we're closing in on the end of the half, and Darvaki obviously would like to see a goal here, but no matter what happens, maybe it's something he can build on when he talks to his club at the break. And there's Soroy. He certainly milked the moment, got a lot of time to elapse. Those will be some extra time minutes here when the half does end, but that save right now, that's one of the bigger plays of this game, because the TwinStars would have gotten right back in it. Noya was denied, and now they'll keep cracking away at it.
And it's interesting now for the TwinStars moving this half. You see number 8, Luis Magana, who is sitting on the bench. Appears to be an unhealthy situation, but a corner for the TwinStars.
And there's a scrum in the middle, a header and another deflection, but that ball does not go near the net, and the TwinStars will get another opportunity. We'll watch that corner kick again, Hans.
Lozano involved.
He bend it.
And Adika, who brought some height onto this field, he's going to be involved on these corners as well, trying to play that ball out of the air.
Now they'll little change of pace here as Abdul Rahman, the southpaw kicker, comes in. And the lefty can't get anybody from his own team to take advantage. but the Twin Stars do keep the ball out near the middle of the pitch. Again, we're at Maple Grove High School. 2-0 Duluth FC over the Minnesota Twin Stars. NPSL soccer action. Hans Bristol with you. Eric Nelson, thanks so much for tuning us in on a fabulous night in the northwest suburbs. And Soroy, a little bit of an elevation on that save.
Interesting on that last corner there, Eric. Twin Stars were nearly crying for a handball called possibly, but well, nothing there in Duluth FC right now, despite some better minutes here from the end of this half from the Twin Stars. Still controlling this game. You see it right here. Not afraid to possess the ball, switch the field, find that space forward. Done a good job of that here in this first half.
Yeah, they have a good-looking, well-run offense. You can tell this is a well-oiled machine, especially with Westfield and Junior. Those two guys are potent goal scorers, and they both have one apiece tonight. Duluth FC trying to get some more action down in the Twin Stars end. And there's a battle. And Westfield there. Now Westfield goes down, and he looked like he had his hand over his left eye. And there he is. Great work by our camera crew here at Maple Grove High School.
This will be interesting to see if it was a part of, you see Lenny Lozano right here.
Well, there's a grab by Westfield.
That hand,
yeah.
I think that triggered that hand coming up and catching him in the facial area. And that is one thing this year, Eric. There has been a lot of conversation and controversy worldwide about some changes to what they're telling these referees. One thing they've done a great job on is head contact. It's almost always an immediate stop to the game. Anything to that kind of face head area, of course, VAR is a different discussion that isn't present in the NPSL, but the head contact, anything, the ball, a hard contact with the ball going toward the head, these referees have done a good job as it's become a growing concern, of course, in a lot of different sports, and you see it right there.
Yeah, and it really looks like Westfield grabs Lozano, and Lozano's trying to shake him and inadvertently gets up in the eye area. But I think we're all good now as we're back to action in this 44th minute of play here at Maple Grove High School. Duluth FC with a corner kick. And Westfield right on the doorstep, but Anderson able to get it out.
Once again, sloppy there from the Twin Stars. They just gave up a free corner kick to Duluth, and luckily Anderson was keeping track. He tried to slip a corner in quickly there, Junior, and boy, Twin Stars get away with one there. No further damage for Duluth.
They avoid potential disaster. Twin Stars with it, center of the pitch. Trying to get an opportunity here late in the first half, maybe get on the board. Lozano still with it. That shot blocked by Nato. And Duluth FC will watch it go out of bounds. So we're beyond the 45-minute mark, but we have the extra time going.
Well, and certainly a better couple of minutes here we've seen from this press from the Twin Stars, and it kind of generated some of the wrong ball. And of course, it appears the fourth official is saying 4 extra minutes of added on stoppage time here at the end of the first half, beyond the 45.
Yeah, for those of you who are soccer newbies, they don't really stop play. They add on penalty or delay minutes after each half. Here comes Westfield and Duluth FC. Could be another goal-scoring chance. And that was Brooks Rice coming down the middle of the attack. Couldn't get the shot off, but Duluth still has it. Nato.
Much better from the Twin Stars. You'll hear kind of that term of collapsing defensively in soccer, and that just means smart, good challenges in toward the middle of the field where teams like to attack a lot. It was well done there by the Twin Stars.
So again, we're in extra time, first half. Can anybody take advantage? So far, Duluth.
Talked about that stoppage time that's added on. It gives teams, of course, opportunities from any injuries or any delays in the half, but leaves opportunities for teams to kind of try and pick up some momentum. The TwinStars threatening here, or Duluth FC, that is.
Well, Viator lost track of that one, had to run it down. Now it goes out of bounds off of a TwinStar player. Here at Maple Grove Stadium, the home of the Crimson. They do a lot on this field, as you might imagine. Football, soccer, lacrosse, field turf surface, and a wonderful venue in the Northwest Burbs.
Really is. Fantastic facilities. Maple Grove was out here tonight, and pro soccer in the summer, keeping it busy.
It's all about booking dates when you have a stadium or an arena, so they're happy here at Maple Grove to have this. Duluth FC. It'll go out of bounds, and that'll be Starling who will bring it in. And the two-hand pass. Headshot. Another headshot. And the TwinStars get it out.
Better clearance there from Anadika, as you said. A couple of headers, just trying to take advantage of some of these late minutes here before we head into halftime break.
And unable to catch up with that one was Lozano. And a tough break, too. We haven't gotten into it yet, Hans. But Kaha Patu, who's the leading goal scorer for the TwinStars, unable to make the game tonight. So they lose one of their more potent players as the first half is coming to a conclusion. You hear the whistles, the multiple whistles, and Duluth FC will hit the intermission with a solid 2-0 advantage.
Absolutely. They did a lot of really good things in that first half, controlled all three parts of the field, while we saw the TwinStars get some chances there late in this game. Defensively, no mistakes really made from this Duluth FC side, and right now, Joel Pearson and his coaching staff pleased with that 2-0 lead coming out of the first 45 minutes, but boy, the second half, TwinStars got to find a way to get a response early in the half and try and find advantages and opportunities for momentum.
Can the TwinStars rally on their home pitch? We'll find out. This is NPSL Soccer on CCX.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
And we are back in the Grove, Maple Grove High School, CCX Soccer on a fabulous Wednesday night in the Twin Towns, 75 degrees. Hans Bristol, Eric Nelson with you. Thanks for tuning us in. Duluth FC with the 2-0 lead at the break. And it's been a very productive half for one of the top teams in the NPSL. And Hans, this I-35 rivalry, 2-2 draw in the first match. It's 2-0 now. The TwinStars, they kind of sputtered out of the gate, and you'll see the first goal there by Carlisle Jr., his 6th of the season.
Yeah, really young, promising talent that's jumped into this NPSL North this year, and just great finish with the left foot there for junior. No chance for Anderson to catch up to that goal, and those chances didn't stop there, Eric, for Duluth.
Yeah, Jake Westfield was Jake on the spot. He got the easy rebound goal as Luke Anderson tried to make the save, but it came out and Westfield put it in. Now there's a save by Alberto Soroy, the keeper for Duluth FC. The TwinStars haven't had too many chances yet.
That one right there by Garganoia once again. Soroy, you saw out come to make that stop, and right there shows you, Eric, the importance for 3 points tonight for Duluth FC. And they've shown in this first half they've wanted this game a little more, trying to jump a Med City team from Rochester that has put out a very good team, good performances this year, but trying to get to that top spot here in this NPSL North, always competitive.
Yeah, Med City, certainly one of the teams to keep an eye on. Duluth FC, as we touched on, only year number 3 in the NPSL, but they've made a huge splash already. The TwinStars, middle of the pack, and I know they're looking at this match as, hey, we need a clean 3. The way things have shaped up, Hans, I think they'd probably be happy with a draw, being down 2-0. We'll see how that second half goes, and then you look at the rest of the NPSL North, Dakota Fusion, Sioux Falls, and La Crosse FC out of the gate slowly.
Well, and I think the TwinStars are trying to separate themselves from that bottom 3 that, those are some, of course, younger teams in this league. They've tried to find their own ways to build up teams and build up wins. And you talk about quality wins, quality results that make a statement. We mentioned the TwinStars earlier match this year. Injuries have not helped this team and played into their side, but there's still talent on this team. They've continued to find small ways to generate those chances in this first half, but they're going to have to continue spacing the field, find those attack. You always are trying to, spacing is so important, and what Duluth FC do a great job of is tightening that up right in the middle of the field. And the TwinStars, as we talked about, you saw it there, kind of, desperate for 3 points. And right now, trailing by 2, need a good start to this new half coming up against a Blue-Greens team that controlled most of that first half.
Carlisle Jr. and James Westfield have the goals. Duluth FC with the lead. This is soccer on CCX.
Get it.
Get it. Get it.
Give your town a reason to celebrate, because every Goodwill item you bring home brings job training and more to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, and she convinced me to continue my education. No one receives a diploma alone. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
And we are back here in Maple Grove, CCX Soccer on a Wednesday. Hans Bristol, Eric Nelson with you. Thanks so much for tuning us in. The I-35 rivalry, the TwinStars on the southern end of the interstate trailing Duluth FC on the northern end. And I'll tell you what, the blue-green, they are impressive, Hans. They got those 2 goals in the first half. Their defense is solid. And head coach Yusuf Darbaki for the TwinStars, he and his team have to figure out a way to solve the puzzle known as Duluth FC.
Well, a disciplined, strong first half from the Blue-Greens, as you talked about there, Eric. From that first 45 minutes, really did not give much of any change to certainly any of that first half. And Joel Pearson there, he's got his team in a good spot. And we talked about they're trying to make their way up that table. And you get to a point now this time of the year, Eric. There are certainly postseason implications on these late games, and that brings more challenges to both of these sides.
All right, we are getting close to the start of the second half. Again, a wonderful night weather-wise here in the Northwest Burbs. 75 degrees. That's been the temp all evening. Low humidity, slight breeze, plenty of daylight because we are approaching the longest day of the year. But the lights are on for good measure. And both teams are slowly getting onto the field turf surface here at Maple Grove High School. Talking about Duluth FC and the ability of this soccer club to make a splash right away coming into the NPSL in 2017. Their owner is Father Tim Sauce, born in Romania, lived in Sweden and Canada, then moved to Minnesota, eventually wound up in Duluth. And he's been a priest of the Greek Orthodox Church for many years, as you see the TwinStars getting some last-minute words of encouragement on how they're going to rally. But he formed this team on a joke and a bet with some teams and friends in a local league up there in the Twin Ports, Hans. They are no joke now.
Certainly not. Tim is a really strong advocate for the game. And as I said, Eric, we've got some subs on both sides. So let's begin. Isaiah Schramm-Miller, who's going to come in for the second half. He's going to play in goal, replacing Luke Anderson for the TwinStars. And the other sub coming into this game, Sadra Golzarian, who's going to kind of fill into more of an attacking role for the TwinStars. So you'll see him in there, number 11. And Dorian Barberio, Roberto Hernandez, and Lucas Jacobs all checking into this second half. So aggressive substitution moves from both of these coaches. I think maybe some more minutes for some bench players here for Duluth FC, Eric. But they certainly are going to be looking to make some subs into this second half and maybe find some changes in both legs.
Yeah, we'll find out. And I'll tell you what, somebody's asleep at the wheel because the clock hasn't started yet. Duluth FC on the run. There's a shot, and it goes just wide. And that was Brooks Rice with a good opportunity as they wanted to test the replacement keeper, Isaiah Schramm-Miller. And clock stuck on 45. Well, I can assure you we've been going for at least a minute here in the second half. Duluth FC in the white, blue, green look. And they're going from right to left across your TV screen. Minnesota TwinStars wearing the bright red and white with the white numbers. They'll go from left to right. And Duluth FC, second place in the North Conference NPSL, trying to get a clean 3 points. Again, they drove down today from the Twin Ports. It's about a 2.5-hour drive, depending on traffic and cone zones, of which there are usually many this time of year. They're going to play this match, Hans, and then they'll get right back in the team vans, go up by 35 back to Duluth Superior.
Important games, very crucial late games in this season, Eric. How about that chance they came out with right away here in this second half? As I mentioned, a significant 3 subs that have come into this game, and even seeing some new subs forward for Duluth FC. That's going to be interesting to see how some of these guys generate themselves into this game in this second half. But you mentioned it's a busy schedule that is kind of put on these teams. This season really wraps up and postseason play gets going in really the second week of July for most of these clubs. And so there's a large group of games in June and May as Noya there can't turn that ball forward with the newly subbed on Sadra Golzarian right to his left there.
Well, and it is, they are busy, and there's a lot of travel involved around the upper Midwest, where you have teams in Rochester and the Twin Ports, the Twin Cities, the Dakotas, Wisconsin. And it's, you know, you have to save the dollars when you can. This is an MLS or the English Premier League, so they don't even bother getting the hotel tonight here in the Twin Cities. 2.5-hour drive up north. They'll just get back in the team vans and say, all right, we've done what we had to do. It was a business trip to the Twin Cities, and so far they've taken care of business, Duluth FC, and they're trying to add on to this 2-0 lead. But the TwinStars, they have other ideas, and if they're going to get back in this thing, as we have that clock working right now, we're about 48.5 minutes in. They're trying to drum up some offense.
A lot of these guys here, Eric, are, they have their own personal lives and are working guys that make their living in a good amount of these local communities, and the clubs, of course, are always very supportive to them in that aspect as well. But a lot more going on in these guys' lives with college, young adult years, and the soccer, the football. To a lot of these guys, they get to come out and play on nights like this. Really means a lot, and they get competitive. And for the TwinStars right now, maybe a little discouraged out of that first 45, but they'll be looking to try and get some possession time here. But these Blue-Greens continue to press, continue to find space.
And here they come. A centering pass, but it's broken up by the TwinStars. And Duluth FC, Minnesota TwinStars, in a battle for the ball right now, and it goes out of bounds. That was Kareem Darbaki, who was on the near side. Now he'll kick it across the pitch off the chest of a teammate, and the TwinStars kick it in, but immediately it's knocked out by Duluth FC.
Once again, as you saw, we haven't mentioned Brooks Rice's name much here tonight, but he had a good look on that other end. Now here comes Darbaki.
And now, a little bit of a risk by Alberto Soroy coming out of the net and the box with that sprawling grab. He wanted to make sure they didn't get a shot off.
Again, the right idea there from the TwinStars. Lozano had that run. I believe it was Darbaki that made that pass forward, kind of made his presence known in an attack, and Kareem's got to continue to do that, continue to find that space, move that ball forward, get into those gaps. FC come right back.
Here's Brooks Rice. Left foot centering pass, and Westfield could not capitalize. He had an opportunity, but James Westfield, who has one of the 2 goals this evening, unable to get his second of the match, and that may have been a break for the TwinStars.
And Ivan Adika, who came in there early in that first half, he made that stop, stepped right in front of Westfield. Boy, that was a certain dangerous chance for the Blue-Greens.
Here comes Duluth FC, a team that is very good at spacing and passing and high IQ soccer. And the TwinStars able to get that one to go out of bounds.
Talk about that IQ, and that a lot of times, you said it, it's just being smart, not forcing passes you're going to force and lose possession on, but trusting those midfielders who have had the opportunities to come up the field and allow Duluth FC's attack to really open up.
TwinStars with that bright red look. That one's kicked back near Soroy, and the Duluth keeper will kick it away. To his right, and they'll regroup and try to set something up. This is George Proctor.
It's totally fine for Duluth FC right now. You knew the important 3 points you were trying to collect tonight. You've got a 2-goal lead. You don't want to let the TwinStars back into this game, certainly. And Duluth FC's done a good job of that here so far.
And there's a headshot out of bounds off of one of the Minnesota TwinStars.
I think too, Eric, there's been games this year for the TwinStars, as I kind of cover them more locally here in the Maple Grove area, that they need a spark. They need, even if it's a foul, a shot on goal, a chance, that they just have not found that here. And as deeper the second half goes, at Duluth, confidence will grow, but they need something here. They got to get something going offensively and trust the talent that they do have on this team, create those chances.
Yeah, you need that spark that becomes a bonfire. And, in the earlier match between these two, again, it was a 2-2 draw, and the TwinStars were the team up 2-0. And there's a shot and a save, and another opportunity for the TwinStars. And that was Golzarian who got that one off, the freshman who plays at DePaul collegiate soccer, but it was 2 late goals by Duluth FC to get that draw. Now, can the TwinStars replicate that and maybe flip the script a bit? We'll find out. Here comes FC.
And right there, you saw Darbaki created that chance, sailed the ball into the air. Beautiful runs by Gozarian, and Lozano nearly turned into a shot on goal there, and Lozano was able to believe it was either him or Sadra to get that header toward the goal. But any way they can continue to get those chances, you don't want to give Duluth FC that countering and space opportunities, moving the ball the other way into that other attack.
Yeah, the TwinStars almost certainly, if there's another goal in this match, they have to be the team that scores it if they want to even think about making a run at Duluth FC. Being down 3-0 would seem like climbing Mount McKinley, especially as good as Duluth is defensively. And here's the backup keeper, Schramm Miller, rolling it to his teammate. And the TwinStars.
That's how you have to respect this team, this Duluth team, Eric, is recognizing that they're spot on a 3-0 drought for the TwinStars. Right now, the way Duluth FC have continued to play them tough, the defensive end of the field, defensive half of the field. A tough result for them to come from behind from, but soccer is an interesting game where one turn, one giveaway, and all of a sudden you find your team with a momentum, a goal, and get one back. Anything can change, really.
Well, and that's why, and you hear coaches harp on it, any level, any sport, you play until the final gun or horn or whistle sounds or final out is recorded, because you never know. So you've got to give that max effort at all times. I mean, the TwinStars, like you said a few minutes ago, if they can just get on the board, this could change quickly, and suddenly they would regain some confidence. But right now, play is in the TwinStars' end, so Duluth FC on the attack as they have it. And that is Viator, who couldn't get it toward the middle of the field. Now it rolls out of bounds. And TwinStars and Duluth FC. You look at the NPSL North standings, the table, if you will, and Duluth FC, if with a clean win tonight, would be able to leapfrog past Med City into first place, Hans.
You're right on, and boy, right there, a sliding stop to that near post. But you're right, Eric. Duluth, this team, they knew the importance of this game coming into tonight. Physical altercation there goes against Garganoia, but I'll tell you what, Eric, they've definitely been a team that have had the kind of quality of game tonight that have been important.
There's that physicality that
50,
you referenced.
50. Certainly 50-50 there. Noya's going to feel like maybe should have gone the other way.
Barbario getting tangled up with Noya. They call him Doty Barbario. We are in the second half. No goals yet in this half. Everything happened in the first half as Carlisle Jr. and James Westfield scored for Duluth FC. TwinStars have had limited chances. The FC defense has been stifling, and there's another physical play out near mid-pitch. Here come the TwinStars. Can they capitalize? Darbaki to the middle, but cleared away with the headshot by FC. TwinStars trying to keep it in. Now they get it out. Duluth does. And the shot will roll deep into TwinStars territory, and Isaiah Schramm Miller will do the soft kick out to a teammate. We are past the 57-minute mark here at Maple Grove High School.
Last time I was going to say into the attacking third there for the TwinStars. You saw Kareem Darbaki made his way up the field, found that space, but it's the finishing. It's the quality of those chances. When you get that ball into the box, you see it at a lot of levels, even at a level like in the MLS. you can pick out those teams that have that kind of quality to their goal scoring ability.
And again, the TwinStars trying to set something up, but Duluth FC not allowing that good, clean shot on goal, and now Duluth on the attack, and this might be an opportunity. Here comes Brooks Rice. Brooks Rice, the shot, and then the goal. As he centered it, and his teammate, James Westfield, able to punch it in. So Brooks Rice, instead of taking the shot, Hans, he knew that he had Westfield coming up the middle of the pitch, and that doesn't get much easier if you're Westfield, who has his second goal of the game, and he's now got 6 on the season.
Brooks Rice really awareing and knowing to make that run right up the middle. Westfield will get credit for the goal, but Rice will be the one that'll get credit for setting up this chance once again. Beautiful run to that near post. There's nobody there defensively for the TwinStars. It's kind of something I touched on here. You see the TwinStars defenders there. Hakeem Sinna, Tim Maynard chasing in behind. Westfield's there, make it 3-0.
And there's Westfield, and there's an injured Duluth FC player. I think the key to that goal, too, Brooks Rice got Isaiah Schramm-Miller to commit. He came out thinking Rice is going to shoot it. Instead, the centering pass, and there's no goalie to be found. And Westfield gets another goal, and it's going to be a happy trip up I-35 for Westfield, as he's had a big night, as we see the medical staff for Duluth FC. And let's take a look at the injury and what did happen. Again, tangled up and grabbing his, looks like his calf. And have we got the number yet of who that's? Looks like that's number 20, Roberto Hernandez.
Hernandez, who just subbed in at the halftime break, came into this half. Like you said, nothing, again, egregious or intentional about that run that Idika, or the challenge Idika put into behind, but Hernandez right there just kind of took the brunt. You see it again. Those cleats catching the back of those ankles. Very painful for players, and unfortunate for Hernandez, who came into this game. He kind of fell to that right back roll, and Joel Pearson out there walking this player back to the sideline. The best is okay for Hernandez, who is on the better of 20 minutes, 15 minutes, should say, onto the field.
Well, remember, this is a field turf surface. It's not natural grass, and you can ask any soccer player. They would rather play on the real stuff than the fake stuff. But because you have a multi-use venue here, field turf makes a lot of sense. They run football here, lacrosse, soccer, things like that. But it's a different kind of playing surface. Right. I'm not saying that's for sure why we saw what we saw, but the give is a little different, and it's not as forgiving.
As I mentioned earlier, boy, you add a little bit of rain to this field, and it's every forward, it's every winger's dream. So just see that ball sail across this turf. Tough spot here now for the TwinStars, Eric. You're down 3. Once again, defensively conceding that goal. And you just have to start finding those small positives now, those small movements forward, find that scoring chance. And did have one sub come in for the injured Hernandez, not appearing. He'll return to the field. 27, Nicholas Torres Masafiro comes into the game for Duluth FC into the middle of part of the field, and we'll keep an eye on Hernandez, see if he'll return.
Well, 3-0 our score. Duluth FC on top. And the marquee guys have delivered. Carlisle Jr. with a goal. He's up to 6 on the year. James Westfield has a pair. He's also up to 6. So Duluth FC with a galaxy of stars on this team, and they are shining tonight on top by 3. They have possession, and they're not going to be in any hurry, really, Hans, to do anything drastic. They want to milk clock, because a 3-0 lead in soccer, I think the analogy would be, in football, say the NFL, that may be like 28-3.
And you're spot on. Zarian with a look. And right there, you even saw it Lazarian's there. There's 3 Duluth defenders right in front of him, just going to continue deflecting those shots. 3-goal leads are tough. That's going to put you in a spot now where even 1 goal is not going to give a team kind of that feeling, quite yet. But you've got to search for the first to start into that comeback. It's happened before. It's an interesting game, but right now Duluth FC in control.
Not impossible, but improbable. We'll leave it at that. And the TwinStars, what they need to do is get the play down in the Duluth FC end so they can get some opportunities created. They haven't had many chances tonight.
Got to get that first goal.
Indeed. Saroy, when tested, has come up big. Now the TwinStars have it. Can they get a shot off? Centering pass, shot, but not much on it, as it was a tapper by Eddie Sadie, who plays for San Jose State out there in California. And there was an opportunity, Hans, but they just didn't get that hard shot they wanted, that power ball.
Right foot of Emmanuel Brown just played it wide, and here's Brown on top of it again, but had a lot of space and a good look. Just didn't get a clean first touch. A missed opportunity for the TwinStars.
Here comes the TwinStars again on offense, trying to set things up. And Duluth with a pop-up kick there, as it was knocked in the air by Proctor. Duluth FC, the blue-green as they're called up there in the Twin Ports. And they'll quickly get it back in. And a whistle. Stoppage.
Oh boy, I think they're gonna say maybe that the Blue-Greens winger there kind of stepped out of play early, but that last deflection came out of play. Coach Pearson there and his newly subbed on player in Torres Masafiro, who came onto the field, but TwinStars might have gotten a call to go their way there at the other end of the deflection. Stepped out of play before making that run.
Duluth FC trying to make sure the TwinStars don't cut into this 3-0 advantage. TwinStars have been frustrated offensively tonight by that FC defense and goalkeeper Alberto Saroy. I mean, they have shackled the TwinStars offensively, and we've rightfully so. We want to focus on the goals and the outstanding play by people like Carlisle Jr. and James Westfield, and the assist by Brooks Rice. But you know as well as anybody, Hans, in any sport, defense is what's going to win you games. And they've played outstanding defense tonight, Duluth FC.
Yeah, defensively, it has been the Duluth side that have been able to control, with Ryan Mackey coming onto the field, as well as Hernandez, who was banged up there for a moment for Duluth FC, but that's Ryan Mackey, who just fills into kind of that left defensive role. You said it there, Eric. Defensively, the better team, the team that has given up less opportunities, given up less chances to create those opportunities in spaces in the attacking third. Tonight has been Duluth FC, and it's that simple. And they've taken advantage of their own chances, got some quality finishing, and it's led them to a lead and a strong 3-goal lead of that here on the road.
Yeah, impressive outing so far for Duluth FC as they've bottled up the TwinStars. Joel Person has done a great job with this soccer club, as the TwinStars tonight, limited opportunities, but as you pointed out, I think right now you're not thinking about, hey, we got to come back and win. I mean, that would be outstanding if you do it. Let's get goal number 1. Let's reestablish some confidence, and if anything, even if you don't mount the comeback, give yourself something positive to reflect on as you get ready for, I believe, Minneapolis City coming up this weekend, and that is an intense rivalry.
Right, and that every single game that, of course, the TwinStars and Minneapolis City, who have that local rivalry here in the cities, those games are always fun. But I think the TwinStars here at home tonight on their home turf, Minneapolis City draws good, intimidating crowds in Minneapolis. It'll be a very, very tough task for them moving into Saturday. but they'll have to attack it the same way they can tonight. But they'll need a stronger first half. They'll need a stronger defensive performance, and just has not been there tonight. Liam Condone has come on for Duluth FC. Hernandez is back off there, Eric, and Hernandez just not fit enough right now with that ankle bothering him, and Liam Condone onto the field for Duluth FC.
All right, TwinStars with the ball near the center of the playing surface. Again, we're at Maple Grove High School in the Northwest Burbs, home of the Minnesota TwinStars, NPSL soccer.
Back to the basics here, Eric, right now for the TwinStars. As I said earlier, you got to find that first goal. There's initially some space.
And Sadie will chase the ball down and quickly get it in. As the TwinStars trying to force the issue, and there is Nua getting knocked down.
I couldn't chase Proctor in behind, so maybe went for the whistle there, but no whistle, of course, and Stars trying to apply some pressure here, but once again, a really good takedown that time and collapsing on the attack there by Mia Viator, who we had mentioned not on the score sheet tonight, but has played a really good game there centrally, defensively for Duluth FC.
3-0 our score, as we are here at Maple Grove High School, bringing you soccer on CCX. Always fun to do these games in the National Professional Soccer League. Both these teams play in the North Conference. Med City on top when the night began, but that could change if Duluth FC holds on and gets this 3-point victory, which certainly was their goal coming in for obvious reasons, try to get past Med City and occupy the top spot in the North Conference.
Duluth FC was that team that put this North Conference on the map, of course, with their second round U.S. Open Cup appearance, Midwest Regional Championship game appearance. Tell you what, Eric, the Med City, a team coming up from Rochester, they've played some tough games with Duluth this year. They've got a lot of good talent. Minneapolis City, maybe not the season that some people thought the Crows would have, but top three teams right now, Eric, are shaping up to be three clubs that have been continually competitive in this North Conference, but I think the teams there we could see go into late July, deep into the regions tournament, and boy, you never know, possibly even an Open Cup appearance next year, but these teams are good enough, and they've got the good enough talent and quality. And right now, Duluth has shown that here tonight.
TwinStars, they're just hungry for any kind of offensive productivity, and again a whistle. And you look at the North Conference standings, and there's becoming this line of demarcation, this separation of powers, a gulf, if you will. Med City, Duluth FC, and Minneapolis City SC, the teams that are pulling away from the others, and the TwinStars in the middle of the pack trying to claw their way up, but it's been difficult. And then Dakota, Sioux Falls, and La Crosse are really in a tough situation now. But here's a free kick for the TwinStars. Can they capitalize? They are unable to make something happen there as the free kick came in from Kareem Darbaki, but he may be a little bit too much on it, and nobody able to knock it in. And we'll see Soroy kick it out for the Duluth FC Blue-Green, as they are known up there in the Twin Ports.
Said it there, Darbaki had that free kick, just trying to lift that ball to a couple of running attackers and got it there, just stayed in the air a little too much and was unable to really produce anything more out of it with our 73rd minute here. Beautiful night, and a night that I think Duluth FC enjoying a little bit more, knowing right now how crucial Med City coming off an interesting draw with Sioux Falls over the weekend. Well-earned point for a Thunder team that I've kind of talked about. Those bottom three have really had a hard time this year finding their groove into the top. And the TwinStars, well, they tried to make their way out of that bottom of the table conversation, but some health issues and some tough results have not gone the TwinStars' way this season. And now it unfortunately is showing for Sif Darbaki's squad.
And another whistle. And I know they have watch parties up in the Twin Ports, Duluth Superior, so I'm sure that that fan base enjoying what they're seeing so far. And the biggest decision, I'm sure, for Duluth FC is where are they going to eat on the way back up by 35 to Duluth. I mean, the way they've played, maybe head coach Joel Person's going to let them stop at Toby's up there in Hinckley and get one of those famous cookies along with the meal, because they've earned it.
Absolutely.
The way they've played tonight, and they have a clean sheet going so far. This is Darbaki, and Darbaki loses it, and here comes Duluth FC. And they're trying to get more offense drummed up. And that is Masa Fierro, who had it for a while. Now he lost it. And the TwinStars just really can't get anything positive generated. I'd say, Hans, they probably had 3 legitimate opportunities to score goals tonight.
And unfortunately, just not much more than that. Johnny Varden is going to check in here for the TwinStars. He's going to come onto the field along with Dana Kołaszek, who Kołaszek has found himself in the score sheet just once this year, but Jono comes onto the field here for the TwinStars, a stronger coach who coaches here locally and is also a part of this TwinStars roster. Darbaki moving it up the field. I'll say this too, hard for Duluth FC right now not to be thinking about shot there from Tulare. TwinStars finding some pressure here.
Tulare, there's a good shot by Tulare, Hans, but again, Saroy he got a clean look at it, and he was able to move to his right and knock it away. And we'll take another look at it, but there was some velocity on that kick.
Watching Tulare play a few times this year, his confidence has grown in that middle of the field for the TwinStars. He's turned into an important piece.
Well, the TwinStars did have a good chance there, but Saroy was able to knock it away. And we are now past the 75-minute mark in this one.
As you said there, Eric, just when it's felt like the TwinStars have had that space, have had that ball fall to their feet with a chance to put it on goal, it's right now has really not turned into that ball finding anywhere further other than a white uniform or the green uniform of the keeper here tonight. So Roy, who's played a really nice game for Duluth.
And not taking anything away from Duluth FC, but 2 of their goals, one came on the rebound opportunity, and Westfield had a wide open net. And the second goal, the incredible pass from Brooks Rice to Westfield coming down the center of the pitch, and that was another easy one. But again, that's what good soccer clubs do. They take advantage of opportunities. They make you pay, and now Saroy will kick it away. And how about that boot out near mid-pitch? And the headshot gets it back in. It's countered with another headshot by Duluth FC. 3 straight headshots there.
Talked about this Duluth team maybe thinking about what they're grabbing for food after what looks appear to be right now taking 3 points back to Duluth. They probably have the game of the season coming up Saturday in Rochester, traveling to Med City FC, in a game that very likely could determine a possible NPSL North Conference Championship. And I'm sure that tilt with a very, very competitive, very physical Med City side coming up Saturday is certainly on this team's mind now for sure.
You think about it, again, we were going into the logistics and the travel of this league as one of the Duluth FC players. Proctor, I think he just is getting the little black pellets that you get when you play on field turf. They get inside your shoe. He's cleaning it up. But, you go back to Duluth Superior. Again, not a lengthy trip, but still 2.5 hours. Then you got to come right back down and go further on Saturday against Rochester Med City. So they're going to log some miles this week up and down I-35 and US 52, and that will be a huge match that will have implications in the North Conference as Duluth FC will bring it in.
Well, you don't even think about what it could mean for a shot at a conference clinching spot, a playoff spot, and you get far enough into what the regionals bring to these NPSL teams, that turns into Open Cup opportunities. And when you get that recognition of Open Cup contenders on your team's resume, on your team's radar, it is so critical and so important for a lot of these teams trying to build their name into what Duluth FC has been able to do.
You're talking about U.S. Open Cup, correct?
Yep.
And that's right now, just to put it in perspective, Minnesota United got a 3-2 comeback win last night in Houston over the Dynamo the Houston Dynamo in a cup game.
Yep.
That's their second win. They beat Sporting KC. So it's a cup that has invites to all different kinds of soccer leagues and levels in the U.S. And so you're right. If you can get into the cup situation, that's huge.
And Duluth FC's done that, and they've made themselves known because of their successful season. But it starts with games like tonight where they come out, have a dominant performance, you get yourself toward the top of your own conference table, and that leads into a further NPSL tournament appearance.
TwinStars might have a chance here. There's a shot, but not much on it. A little roller up the middle, and Saroy makes the stop. He didn't have to work too hard on that one, and the Minnesota TwinStars just couldn't get the kind of shot they wanted.
Johnny Varden right there. Had a little bit of space, maybe had a player out wide, but just couldn't get. Once again, Duluth FC's defenders have done a great job tonight just taking away all shooting lanes that the TwinStars have looked to combat and find opportunities to get shots into here tonight.
All right. TwinStars moving it into Duluth FC territory. Can they capitalize? This is Golzarian. Gets it out, up top. Now a cross-pitch pass. And Duluth FC breaks it up. And they get it out of their own end.
Once again, the quality of the attacks there tonight, Eric, have just not been there for the TwinStars. And, we've talked about some of the limited players that they've had throughout this season, but...
Westfield, whenever he gets free, if you're the TwinStars, you get yourself a little bit anxious, but luckily offsides from the Minnesota TwinStars perspective.
And they're that alone forward.
Something happened.
You're looking for that flag to sail up that far side of the field. Right here, once again, you see Darbaki get the ball. He had some space, had some yardage in front of him, forcing those passes. And we've seen that a lot of the TwinStars, and frustration out of the TwinStars here tonight. And of course, that's going to come with being down by 3 here on your home turf, where you continually look for 3 points.
TwinStars would like to avoid the shutout if possible. And there's a shot that sails over the net by the TwinStars. That was Golzarian. Again, he plays at DePaul University down there in Chicago. That one had a better chance of going through the football goalpost than it did into the soccer net.
Interesting to see if you get some of these younger players like Golzarian as next summer approaches for Youssef Darbaki, if they come and return and try and continue to build up some good talent, some good growth. Golzarian's a good young player. He's got some speed, he's got some talent, but some pieces missing tonight for the TwinStars, and it's come back to hurt them, certainly.
This match began in pure sunlight at 7 o'clock Central Time. Of course, we're at that time of the year when daytime hours are about as long as they're going to get here in the upper Midwest, and there's still a lot of light left as we close in on 8:50 Central Time, but the lights now are taking effect. They've been on for most of the game. And another whistle as Duluth FC wanted to try to create a chance, but they'll get a throw-in instead, or a kick-in this case.
I think one thing that should be noted about Duluth too, Eric, and we've rightfully so, we've kind of bragged on them tonight, and we've praised them for what have been good results.
There's your guy Westfield, kind
Absolutely.
of sneaking past the defense one more time.
But I think one thing that should be noted about this Duluth team and how their organization of the club is run is the emotional composure, the attention-seeking kind of sometimes, flailing for calls and all of that. It's not what you're going to see on a nightly basis from Duluth FC, and they're a professionally business-run team, and you're not going to see the cards, you're not going to see some of the emotions get into their own game.
Oh, a head shot there by the TwinStars. That was Nua, but again, Soroy able to react, and there's the save, and then they get it away. So they don't get many second chances yet, the TwinStars, and there's another shot and a save by Soroy. But that may have been the best flurry we've seen for the TwinStars, Hans, in the fact that they had 2 shots in about a 20-second span.
And once again, Lawrence Torelli has continued to have a really good game tonight. Good low-driven cross, found the head of Paranoia, but man, like a couple of these chances have been tonight for the TwinStars. It has been right to the goalkeeper. Soroy is coming to come up with some chances, and you saw Team Sinna on your screen there, who's a strong midfielder for the TwinStars, and he's played a role into tonight's game. There's nothing quite doing there for the Duluth attack.
And as you've harped on all match, those defenders for Duluth FC, not only are they good, and there's a head shot that luckily for the TwinStars went wide, but not only are they good, but they position themselves very well. They know where to be. And so when Soroy is tested, he's seeing the ball the whole way. It's a clean look from his perspective, and it's much like goalie in hockey. It's the rebounds, it's the deflections that get you, and then Soroy hasn't had to deal with that, as we see the other keeper, Isaiah Schramm-Miller, booted away for the TwinStars, and we now have surpassed the 85-minute mark in this one, so we're winding it down.
Historically, you've seen it hurt teams and the biggest stage, even at the World Cup level, where if there's not that communication with your back line and your goalkeeper, it's going to hurt your team defensively, and we've seen it hurt teams at, and they harp on it at the youth club levels, but even at the highest levels. It's one of the most important pieces to your teams. You can have all the weapons forward, all the world-class forwards, wingers, but that communication's not there. It's going to be tough for, as you said, you talked about that positioning is so important. And knowing where your defenders in front of you is going to be, knowing where your goalkeeper is going to be at pretty much all times in a match.
Well, and the TwinStars, we mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, this is a young club. They've had a lot of injuries, as Duluth FC trying to get some more. But these are also learning experiences. There's a learning curve, and it's a process. And that, it appears to me, that's what they're going through this season, and for sure tonight. And if you take this adversity and look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, we're going to get better, I'm going to grow from this, then you'll look back and say, maybe it was something we had to go through. We'll find out. And maybe they respond Saturday against Minneapolis City as that ball goes into the seats across the field. But again, it's not going to be hard for them to get motivated against Minneapolis City, because that rivalry gets a little chippy. This one's more of the friendly rivalry. That one, there's no love lost, is there?
No, certainly not. And I think that's what makes local soccer great. I think that's why more people should come out and support these teams.
There's a shot blocked. That was Brooks Rice trying to get it off. But a good job by the TwinStars defense to not allow him to score the 4th goal of the night for Duluth FC. Now the TwinStars will come back, and they bring it up. And going at that is to Larry. Centering pass, though, knocked away by FC. Kept in by the TwinStars. As they try to get something going here and avoid the blanking. Nothing there. And again, just a good job by Duluth FC not allowing the TwinStars to get in position to get that shot that maybe could break this shutout. And now we'll see Alberto Soroy kick it out one more time.
move on to the next game. You think about that game against Minneapolis City, which we saw last summer at Osseo High School, a really fun game between those two teams that featured a lot of his rivalry abilities, but it's what really continued to grow the game. And get back to Yusuf Darbaki. He knows this league. He kind of started it, founded it, and was really a part of a key group of people that got this league going.
Well, I'll tell you what, James Westfield, for the third time in about a 15-minute span, has been able to get free behind the defense, but every time he's been offsides, he's a guy that he smells the goalie box. He really wants those opportunities to score. He's already got a couple of goals tonight.
And there's been a couple of, those quality forwards, quality players that you've seen in this NPSL. One guy that comes to mind I saw a few weeks ago, Francisco Neto. College guy, plays D1 out in West Virginia. He's from Med City FC. He's that same way. Just always aggressively searching for those goals, and his goal scoring efficiency, similar to Westfield's, is quality enough to know when that ball gets to their feet, they're finding that space, moving into the attacking third. It's going to be dangerous, and it could be sometimes ugly for opposing defenses. Whitney Brown, comes to mind for Minneapolis City as well in this talented conference.
Well, if you're just tuning in, Carlisle Jr. with a goal, James Westfield with a pair, and that's what has resulted in that score you see on your screen, 3-0 Duluth FC. As we are closing in on the 90th minute, we'll probably have some additional time, and then that will be that. And Duluth FC will leave with what I would call a clinical victory tonight here. They really, as if you'd like to point out, they're not flashy. they're not one of those kind of teams. They're just efficient, and they do their job, and everybody knows their role. And you can see why they're near the top of the North Conference in the NPSL and set themselves up for a monster matchup down in southern Minnesota on Saturday with Med City.
Good thing that there's plenty of pressure and what will be surely a fascinating matchup between those two teams.
Yeah, and just to kind of expound on that thought, Hans, the TwinStars, if they can put this thing in the rearview mirror quickly, they can still have an effect or alter what's going on. Because if they beat Minneapolis City SC, that's also going to impact the top three of the conference. So there's still plenty to play for the Minnesota TwinStars.
You're certainly right, and they'll even look at this table and feel they've got the talent to separate themselves from some of those teams toward the bottom. Dakota Fusion, Sioux Falls Thunder, LCRs, who got a historic first win this year, but it's going to be tough for the TwinStars, who feel like they have talent, which they do. They've got a couple of players who can be really smart, really on top of the ball. A couple of difficult moments tonight, once again defensively, come back to haunt them, and Duluth FC took advantage. Duluth FC taking 3 points, and as you said, a game on Saturday that could decide a lot in the history of both of those teams in Med City. And Duluth FC and Minneapolis City will be welcoming in this TwinStars side. They want to stay in that conversation too, and they were in action tonight. And if they themselves can find 6 points this week, boy, it sets up for could be a final dramatic remaining matches toward the end of the month of June.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. The NPSL is a soccer league that is certainly growing, and you hear the multiple whistles, and that will do it. And you can chalk up a win for Duluth FC. 3-0 your final as they come into the Grove and get it done, and the respective clubs will exchange handshakes for the TwinStars. Just things didn't go their way. A couple of goals, one off a rebound, one off an incredible pass. They give up the early one to Junior, and they couldn't recover. And offensively, they were limited tonight, Hans. So I'm not sure what Yusuf Darvaki, the head coach for the TwinStars, will pull out of this as encouragement, but he will find something. But as you know in sports, you got to have amnesia, short memory, here comes Minneapolis City SC on Saturday, and you can put a big dent in their season if you get a clean 3.
Absolutely, and you've got a great point there for the TwinStars. You bet they won't know what is on the line for City on Saturday, and you see Westfield right there and Duluth FC. They know what's on their line for Saturday's game as well. And Westfield's, we saw his talent. We saw some of the talent Duluth FC's brought. They're going to have to show up on Saturday to take on a Med City team. And Yusuf Darbaki and his TwinStars, they're going to continue to evaluating themselves and focusing on, like you said, what could be a spoiler Saturday in Minneapolis against the Crows.
All right, there was the opening goal. There's the first of 2 by Westfield. He would get one more. So Junior gets one. Westfield gets a pair. Great pass there by Brooks Rice. It adds up to a 3-0 Duluth FC win over the Minnesota TwinStars. Alberto Soroy with the clean sheet as the goalkeeper. I want to thank our director, Isaac Rice, Roger Larson on replay, Peter Dahlberg on graphics. By the way, he's getting married Saturday, so good luck, Peter. Aaron Hedrick on sound, and of course, all hands on deck, our camera crew with some fabulous angles and shots. For Hans Bristol, I'm Eric Nelson saying so long. This has been NPSL Soccer on CCX.